This is how women learn how to be around masculine men.
Mm-hmm.
Anton didn't do shit wrong in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Wait,
how
can I
you
answer
learn how to
though?
be around.
Yeah, go ahead, Pressure.
So the correct union is going to progress your family, not your happiness. I think a smidget of this kind of speaks to that because I grew up in a family where, you know, my mom and dad are married. And if it was up to my mom's happiness, the union wouldn't have gotten anywhere. The family wouldn't have gotten anywhere. So it was up to him to be a leader to say, no, you can't get this, or no, we're not doing this. Or even sometimes when she did throw out ideas, it's like, I'm good. You know what I mean? It takes for a man to set the ship straight, and it takes for a woman to be able to follow that leadership. It's not about happiness and goo goo gaga and all these inside feelings that make you feel good. It's about progression and getting and moving forward and, you know, pursuing whatever the man is trying to pursue. And then it's for that woman to be able to, you know, be underneath his leadership and do that. But happiness, a lot of times women rely on a man to make them happy, and that's not his job.
And if I could speak to it, when we talking about the correct union, if we talking about, so I'm trying to understand it, we talking about God's intention, you know, for like a man to be with a woman, that's the correct union, or, you know, men being a leader, marriage instead of a fucking partnership, then yes, yeah, the correct union is going to progress your family. And if it is progressing your family, what'll happen in return is you'll be returned with happiness, you know, upon the progression. Because if you're in it for the right reason and your family is actually moving forward, I don't see why, you know, both couples shouldn't, you know, be able to embrace any amount of happiness off of the success that they have with each other and their children. So yeah, so I believe in that wholeheartedly. And you're right. Like, I see a lot of divorces and a lot of people leaving because they're not happy. Yeah, because they're not happy. Because society is shaped to where you can run to your happiness, and specifically for a woman. I hate to just target women, but it's the policies that's in place.
The dummies run around talking about they're not happy, or they don't want to be happy, like they're like little fucking children and shit. Men ain't running around.
It's a selfish term.
Yeah.
It's actually selfish when you say like my happiness. At the end of the day, your individual happiness cannot depend on anyone else. Like, what makes you happy can depend on someone else. Now, there are things like your family or goals or what do you want, you know, that is going to give you some reward or internally, you know, satisfaction. That's different. But some people want to compare their individual happiness with, you know, what the team or the group, the family, the nucleus, you know, happiness is. And I don't want to call it happiness. I don't really like the word because there's no happily ever after. Once you marry, it's not like that. It's happy moments. And I think like some people don't even know what happiness is because they just use the word as so general. I think everybody wants a peaceful life. I personally look at it that way. I want a peaceful life. I have a peaceful life. I've always had a peaceful life, to the point that when I hear you all arguing, I have to remove my headsets, my headphones, because it's too much for me.
Yeah,
I never deal with that. So it's just me. But I want a peaceful life. That's the word that I like. That's the word that I use. And I know that I'm going to have happy moments. My happiness cannot depend on someone else. So I cannot blame someone else for me not feeling happy. That's just selfish.
Okay, hold on. Who's ever breathing like that? Go next. I don't know who's breathing like that, but it's coming off kind of dragon-like. So who's never?
That ain't Monique.
Hey, Bruiser.
That ain't me, bro. Don't do that shit, bro.
Hey, yo, Bruiser, man.
Like,
bro. Hey, yo, bro, stop.
Bro, you over looking at porn or something, Bruiser? What you doing?
Most definitely ain't me, Rashad Captain, bro.
Whoever is breathing like that, you can go next. And
that's on your phone, yo. Hey, yo, the only man I know that got a green screen with a green hoodie, like this guy.
Hey, yo, man. Bruiser gotta stop all that heavy breathing. You the only skinny dude that I know breathe hard like that, bro.
Like a fat person.
That ain't me, bro. Show what me, bro.
Are you heard?
But no, look, y'all.
This pass up in here. Okay.
This happiness shit is gonna keep you single, ladies. It's fucking stupid. Stop running around wanting to be happy.
Hold on,
you're not.
Was breathing
you're
like
not a child.
It's been going on for a few minutes. Whomever is breathing, the floor is yours.
The person breathing the floor.
He already talked.
Was it just me?
He's already talked already.
Maybe it's me. I don't know. I wanted to respond really quick. So briefly, what just happened with Anton or whatever. Years ago, that kind of happened to me. And then I guess, stopped being very emotional because that doesn't get you anywhere. And I became very so, you know, it takes a moment to process it because you're like, what the ain't nobody ever tell me, you know, but it's a good learning lesson. I don't want to have anyone on the panel or anyone in the chat to look at that as negative because it's not. Sometimes we do need men, because that's who's going to bring it out, to be very direct like that. Because when it happened to me, okay, I was like, you can't. But then it was like, no, he did, right? And then I'm like, okay, let me reset and think about what's being said, right? Because if someone loves you enough to care for you to say stuff like that, that's actual tough love, is what I'm saying. You don't have to know someone to give someone tough love. There's nothing wrong with tough love. That's the best way for me to learn anyway. So this is a great, so far a great show. I think it needs to be heard, needs to be seen, because there are people out there that would need this type of change, women especially.
I agree, and I want to add. I want to add
hold
to
on,
it.
Hold on. Let me set it. We're not about to have a coaching session right now.
No, we're not coaching.
Okay, the topic is the correct union is going to progress your family, not your happiness. So let's just try to keep it there so we can move on to the next topic.
Quickly, I wanted to say I agree with everything you just said, sis, and it does. You know what? Basically, that's it. Moving on.
Okay, thank you. Look, y'all, I just want to say this about happiness. Like I said, it's stupid. Y'all are children running around talking about I want to be happy and shit. Happiness is fleeting. Okay, you could be happy at 4 o'clock and be unhappy at 7 o'clock. Okay, so when it comes to a goddamn marriage, that is a whole life. Don't you think?
This man put his face on a cup, man.
Bro, I'm talking, man. Shut up. So the bottom line is, so the bottom line is, when you look at a lifetime with a man, don't you realize that you're not going to be happy probably half of the goddamn time?